It's feeding time at the boutique, and so I have brought home some tasty snacks. And right here you see our little lesser who just got himself a tasty snack, which can be disturbing for some people, but it is a part of nature. It is something that we all do to survive. That is, we eat. And most of us eat things that we're living creatures. Just so happens that snakes tend to eat fresh. They don't go to the grocery store. Little guy's such an enthusiastic eater that I figured I'd go ahead and just take off the hide for you so that you could see what was going on. And just like I thought, he really could care less. So he's going to go ahead and start eating. And he is trying to go butt first, which may not work out well for him. Sometimes they'll start and then stop and turn it around and start again. And just as I thought, he is trying to, there we go. There we go. Now we're more towards the head where he wants to be. And at this time they go ahead and start releasing some salivas and releasing their jaw, which allows them to expand it vastly. They can really expand their jaw quite a bit, which allows them to consume food that sometimes is bigger than the girth of their body, or seemingly bigger than the girth of their body, and it results like in this enormous bulge in their body when they're finished eating. But here you can see, that he's kind of expanding the jaw, and little by little he's like lifting up part of his mouth to take in just a little bit more of this meal. Very interesting, fascinating for kids to understand, this is being a part of nature, that this is where our food comes from, that if we eat meat, these animals were once alive. And knowing where your food comes from and being okay with that is part of being, a well-balanced, thinking adult person. The reality of it is that this is a biological part of nature, and that a rat and other rodents are food for other animals. And it's quite fascinating to watch them consume something that seems so much bigger than their body. Okay, we've made a little bit more progress here. He's repositioned the rat since I cut out, and he's now got the head completely inside his mouth, his jaws there, and he's working on the shoulders, trying to get this little guy inside of him so he can digest him and be nourished off this meal. And this is where it gets interesting, this last part. Watching them make that last swallow, swallow and pushing this meal down is a very interesting part of it. So I hope that you stick around to the end. You may find this a little disturbing so far, but you might as well get a good biology lesson out of it. And that involves watching, the last bite here. Just notice that the bottom part of the jaw is completely open. Okay, here we go, and we're going to come down to this last part of this consumption. The shoulders are completely inside the mouth now, and now we're just going to go ahead and get the mouth all the way around and use those muscles in the neck, which notice that behind the head that the muscles are already at work, pushing this meal down the gullet, down the hatch. And here we go. Tasty snack. Had to take a couple of shots there. just to get some interesting photographs. But it should be interesting. And there's that last gulp, and now we're just going to go ahead and push it down the gullet. You can see the muscles there. I'm just kind of focusing on the neck now, as you can see that the muscles are pushing that meal down the snake's neck and all the way down. You can see that the meal is all the way about 8 inches down the neck, and he's just going to work him down in place where he can go ahead and digest and get nourished off that meal. So that's pretty much it. He's just doing some final pushing there, and I hope that you found that educational and interesting.